You're watching ABC 7 News at 4, starting with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon, I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Hope you're having a great Thursday. We're almost there to the weekend. We're going to look at a sneak peek of the weekend. Looks to be a little bit cooler, but not much. There is a cold front that's going to kind of wash out just to our north, but be close enough to drop us a few degrees. Now, Sarasota Bay webcam showing lots of sunshine today and temperatures soaring once again well above average in the low 90s in places, with feels like temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. And you can see pretty calm conditions out there in the waters. And it looks as though we will see generally fair skies tonight. Not much chance for rain. 90 right now. With the humidity pretty low, 52% with that east wind at 13. We still have a chance to warm up a little bit more than that. The dew point temperatures at 70. The pressure is way up, 30-10. Temperatures across the state now, 88 degrees in Tallahassee, 90 in Orlando. And temperatures into the mid to upper 80s right near the water, but 90s inland. And it's feeling like 95 degrees in most areas all the way into Highlands County. The weather radar picture pretty void of any shower or thunderstorm activity right now. Some showers down south near Miami, and also one or two lone showers into Highlands County at present, but nothing going on in Manatee and Sarasota counties at this hour. We'll have much more on our weather. Talk about a pretty big storm that could have an impact on the East Coast next week. Details on all that coming up in just a few minutes. Jacqueline, Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. Now to our top story. Vacation rentals have always been very popular here on the Suncoast, but one challenge Sarasota County has been facing isn't hotels being jam-packed, but residents renting out their homes for tourists.
ABC 7's Rebecca Fernandez joins us live now with more on that and how one of our seaside cities has stricter laws in place to make sure that doesn't happen.
Jacqueline, Scott, well, at last week's Sarasota County Commissioners meeting, some residents spoke out about short-term rental regulations. They say many homes have become like hotels, with residents in and out each week with visitors. But residents in Venice say they're thankful the laws in the city are more strict than the countywide ones. The city of Venice does not allow any homeowner to rent their home more than 3 times a year, and it has to be for a minimum of 30 days. However, that ordinance is set to expire in a few years, and with the popularity of rental websites like Airbnb, residents hope the city will stick to this original regulation. And tonight at 5:30, you'll get to hear why they feel this way and how short-term rentals are handled all throughout the county. For now, live in Venice, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC 7, your Suncoast News. Back to you guys.
Rebecca, thank you. Construction on 2 roundabouts being built along US 41 in Sarasota still have a long way to go, but the city is already asking artists to start brainstorming. One roundabout is being added at 41 and 10th Street, the other at 41 and 14th Street. Construction is scheduled to be complete by the spring of 2020. The city is planning to place sculptures at these roundabouts, similar to others in the downtown area. Artists have until January to submit their ideas. The city's public art fund has a total budget of $400,000 to pay for those additions. A North Florida Animal Preserve is offering $800 for the return of its wolf. The animal escaped as Hurricane Michael ripped through the Panhandle last week. Seacrest Wolf Preserve in Chipley took a hard hit. A co-owner of the preserve says a large oak tree fell on the wolf's enclosure during the storm. The animal is part of the preserve's educational program and is not believed to be a threat to the surrounding community. Jacqueline joins us now with new developments in the turmoil surrounding USA Gymnastics.
Scott, the former president of USA Gymnastics has been arrested and is accused of tampering with evidence in the Larry Nassar scandal. An indictment claims Steve Penny ordered the removal of documents at a Texas facility related to Nassar's activities. Nassar was a physician with USA Gymnastics who was sentenced to decades in prison after more than 150 women and girls accused him of sexual abuse. In June, Penny repeatedly invoked his Fifth Amendment rights during a Senate hearing on the Nassar scandal. Authorities accuse Penny of destroying or hiding those documents to stop investigators. Police in Texas have located the family of a toddler who was abandoned on the doorsteps of someone's home late last night. Surveillance video shows a woman who is a friend of the child's mother rush up to the home carrying that 2-year-old boy. She knocked, rang the doorbell before running back to her vehicle, leaving the child just standing there. The homeowner came to the door to find that little boy and then called 911. Police identified the child and located his father, who lives next door, earlier today. The mother has since been contacted and says she had her friend drop off her child but mixed up the address. There are new developments in the case of the missing 13-year-old girl whose parents were found dead in their Wisconsin home. Police are now saying they believe Jamie Kloss was home when someone forced their way in the front door and shot and killed her parents. Police arrived at the home after a suspicious call to 911 about 1 a.m. on Monday. No one spoke to the dispatcher, but the commotion police heard in the background leads them to believe Jamie was in danger.
Her parents died from gunshot wounds. That's why we were ruling this a homicide. There was no gun found on the scene. Is it a random attack or is it a targeted attack? I don't know that answer. That is why those leads are so important.
Police are now poring over security cameras from throughout the county as the sheriff asks everyone in the community to be on guard. New details paint a disturbing picture in the disappearance of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. Turkish officials are increasingly convinced the Saudi crown prince was involved in the journalist's death, as Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is back at the White House following his visit in the Middle East. ABC's Lana Zach has the latest from Washington.
These may be some of the last words Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi ever penned. Writing, Arab governments have been given free rein to continue silencing the media at an increasing rate. His words, received a day after he was reported missing in Turkey, appeared today in the Washington Post. And Khashoggi's plea to fight against government censorship may be behind his disappearance inside the Saudi consulate. Today, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is back in the U.S.
Morning, everyone.
After being dispatched to meet with Saudi royals and Turkish officials on behalf of President Trump.
They made clear to me that they too understand the serious nature of the disappearance of Mr. Khashoggi. They also assured me that they will conduct a complete, thorough investigation.
But one of Khashoggi's closest friends tells ABC News that Turkish officials believe they have evidence that the Saudis were behind his murder. He says Turkish officials tell him they have audio tapes of Khashoggi being killed in a barbaric way. President Trump says he wants to hear those tapes if they exist. The president has been criticized for coming to the defense of the Saudis, a financial powerhouse and military ally.
$110 billion worth of military. Those are the biggest orders in the history of this country.
It's a charge the president denies.
I'm not giving cover at all. With that being said, Saudi Arabia has been a very important ally of ours in the Middle East.
Also meeting with Secretary Pompeo and President Trump was the Secretary of the Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, who just a little bit ago tweeted that he is going to now be pulling out of a future investment summit that is being held in Saudi Arabia. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
Well, let's send it back to Scott with more on how Hurricane Michael is impacting the upcoming election.
Jacqueline, Governor Rick Scott issuing an executive order today extending midterm election voting options for those impacted by Hurricane Michael. The order applies to 8 counties impacted by the hurricane. It details plans to ensure all voters are able to cast a ballot safely and securely. The order includes provisions to extend early voting and vote by mail options for hurricane survivors. A billionaire philanthropist turned political activist is pulling out all of the stops for his favorite candidate. Tom Steyer is personally donating $2 million to Andrew Gillum's campaign for governor of Florida. That's on top of the $5 million given by an organization funded by Steyer. Gillum is a Democrat running against former Republican Congressman Ron DeSantis. The race will be one of the most closely watched contests in the November midterm elections. Still to come, what Sarasota County is doing to help local businesses better understand those dealing with dementia. Plus, the CDC issuing a warning against Halloween costumes for chickens. And you may have seen some exotic animals at a zoo, but you've probably never seen them through them. We'll show you some creepy animal x-rays the Oregon Zoo has shared of its animals.
Investigate TV tackles the tough topics.
What happened to my life was awful.
When your health is compromised, we investigate.
They are really drug dealers in white coats.
Corporate greed exposed.
How do you trust them to run this program?
The powerful held accountable with in-depth journalism led by award-winning journalist Lee Zurich. We're your watchdog. Search Investigate TV on your Roku device. Download it now.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
There are lots of people who are confused about which Medicare plan is right for them.
Hey, that's me. I barely know where to start.
Well, start here with me, Karen. I'm a licensed Humana sales agent.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Karen. I'm John Smith.
Hi, John. At Humana, we know you're unique, so you have different needs from other John Smiths.
Yeah, I've always thought so.
And together, we can find a plan that's right for you.
Great. I go to the doctor a couple of times a year, and I have some prescriptions, but I'm never fully sure of what's covered and what's not.
With Humana's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, you get coverage for hospital stays, doctor visits, and Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable and sometimes no monthly plan premium.
Do you have any more information?
Sure. I'll get a decision guide in the mail to you today. They're free.
Finally, someone who understands the real me.
Your health and happiness is important to us. Call or go online now to get your free decision guide. Call a licensed Humana sales agent today.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Florida, with its older population, has one of the highest rates of Alzheimer's in the nation, coming in second only to California. In Sarasota County, almost 20,000 people are living with the disease. ABC 7's Taylor Torgano has details about an event happening right now to help bring a dementia-caring community to Sarasota.
Scott, those startling statistics are exactly why events like these are so important. Here, the Dementia Care and Cure initiative has just kicked off their community event. They invited local businesses, organizations, and community members to come to this event. The goal is to make Sarasota County a dementia-caring community. This means a number of things, including how to respond to a person with dementia and how to help them complete their day-to-day activities. Organizers say this is necessary for a grocery store clerk, bus operator, and everyone in between, since people living with dementia still go out in the community and live normal lives. I'll have more about this event and how you can help our growing number of community members with dementia coming up at 6 p.m. I'm reporting from downtown Sarasota, Taylor Torgano, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Taylor, thank you. Let's send it back to Jacqueline now in the newsroom for a look at what's trending today.
Well, Scott, the Oregon Zoo released some super cool and super creepy animal x-rays, of course, just in time for Halloween. Take a look. The x-rays were taken during routine checkups at the zoo's veterinary center. Featured in the images was a ball python, a Rodriguez flying fox, an inside look at a beaver's tail, and my personal favorite, a chameleon right there. Looks pretty cool. Well, if you happen to have a pet chicken and are thinking of dressing it up for Halloween, well, there's a new CDC warning that you should be aware of. The CDC is tricking this treat by asking people not to put their pet chickens in costumes or cuddle with them to keep from being exposed to salmonella.
Can you ever imagine not being able to dress up your chickens or hold them?
No, I love to hold them. I love to talk to them, and everybody has names.
Well, playing it safe during the holiday will help keep you from running afoul of the harmful bacteria. Police in Portland, Oregon are sniffing around for clues after someone stole a 50-pound nose from a family's porch. You heard me right. It may seem like a laughing matter, but the family says it is not. They've put signs up around the neighborhood in an attempt to find out who took that unique Halloween decoration. Above all else, the family just wants to know why their nose was picked. Burger King is changing its menu in honor of Halloween. The fast food chain is releasing its Nightmare King next week, which will be available through November 1st. The spooky sandwich has a green sesame bun to give it a spooky look. Officials with Burger King says this sandwich is, quote, clinically proven to induce nightmares. The Nightmare King goes for about $6.39. Does not look too appetizing to me, but more power to all of you. Well, let's send it back to Scott for a look at today's consumer news. Scott.
Jacqueline, two of the biggest selling sites on the internet are in a fight over sellers. eBay is now suing Amazon, accusing it of using eBay's own messaging system to try and convince people who sell on eBay to switch. eBay calls it an illegal coordinated campaign. There's no comment yet from Amazon. And about 100,000 people will soon be getting paychecks from Amazon. That's how many seasonal workers the company is hoping to hire this year. The new hires will get at least $15 an hour, the company-wide minimum wage that Amazon set just a couple weeks ago. Now back to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for more on our first alert forecast. Bob?
Scott, this is a good indicator of how the red tide is doing out on area beaches, at least anecdotal. Here we have Holmes Beach, one little area. Lots of folks out there enjoying the sunshine, and there's plenty of that too, and there has been. Again, occasionally you see some folks out there in the water, and looks like not much chance for any kind of spoiling showers through this next couple of hours. Sunset should be another gorgeous one there. Dew point temperatures are still pretty high in the low 70s across the peninsula. It's cooler in the Panhandle, 58 degrees there. We're going to see some of that lower dew point temperature. What that means is a little drier air at the surface, which will mean a little more comfortable temperatures, but we're not going to really cool down all that much. We'll get close to seasonal averages by early next week with a frontal system nearby. There's a weak front to our north right now. It's producing a few showers near Daytona Beach and also near Gainesville, stretching just northwest of Orlando. A little bit of activity, not much. And then we have some clear skies covering much of west central Florida, and then a few showers down south into Monroe County and near Miami. You can see a live sweep of the radar, not showing anything going on here. Things are quiet. The evening planner looks to be warm again, as you would expect. Temperatures into the upper 70s by 11 o'clock. Clear skies, though, and we'll have temperatures dropping down into the mid-70s for the most part for overnight lows to start things off on Friday. But that dry air has just been kind of hanging around in the upper levels of the atmosphere, which is limiting any kind of significant rainfall, even with that front nearby. This is the line of where that front really is, right there across north central Florida. Now we'll get another front coming down on Sunday, and that front will also bring us slightly cooler dew point temperatures, which means a little bit more comfortable on Monday. Well, Futurecast is showing high pressure dominating the weather over much of the Mid-Atlantic coast and throughout the Ohio Valley. That'll stay that way. There's an approaching system, though, as you see, through the central U.S., which will eventually chill things out again over the northern plains states. It's been kind of a cold fall across much of the northern plains and the northern Great Lakes as far as that goes, and it looks like that continues. Here comes the front. This is Saturday at 1 o'clock. As I mentioned, it gets close to us on Sunday late. It'll cool us down a little bit on Monday to start things off for our work week next week. Well, there's not much of a sea breeze that's developed. It has over the islands here, but not much over the mainland. So we have a steady east to northeast wind. Whenever you get that kind of wind and it stays that way, there's no real sea breeze, there's always a potential for some record highs. So we have 90 right now, but could actually warm up a degree or two. 9-mile-an-hour wind out of the east-northeast at Warm Mineral Springs and 7 at Placida. Now, as far as the forecast goes for Friday, it looks to be pretty good. Sunshine to start the day, just a few clouds and only a few clouds in the afternoon. High temperatures will be in the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. Our average high for this time of year, mid-80s, so well above average. And in the tropics, below average activity right now. Nothing to show you. It's been quiet for the past couple of days now, and it looks like it should stay that way for the most part in the Gulf of Mexico or the Western Caribbean. Current conditions 90 degrees and the feels like temperature 95. East winds are at 13 and the dew point is at 70. Well, the national radar picture continues to show the problem here over Texas, where heavy rains continue to fall, and there's that tropical moisture. We were watching it earlier this week. It was east of the Central America, and part of it made its way into Texas now and continues to work that way. Flood watches are remaining in effect across that region, and temperatures right now, look at that, 40s and 50s across the Great Lakes and throughout the northern plain states, in the 60s there. Some cooler weather headed into the northern plains with that next cold front. For boaters tomorrow, winds will be out of the east, switching around to the northeast at 10 knots. There'll be a light chop. Here's the extended forecast, and no real threat of any significant rainfall right through Saturday. Temperatures a little bit cooler on Sunday, and Monday we'll be back to more seasonal temperatures. Lows, though, 67 on Monday. It'll be nice, and that's pretty much our typical low for this time of year. And then we'll warm back up pretty quickly on Wednesday and Thursday. Well, be sure to download our ABC7 weather app. Just go to your weather app store. Just go to your app store and do a search for WWSB, First Alert Weather. You can also download the news app. I know I have that on my phone as well. I was alerted to a couple of things today, which is always a nice thing. You know, get some news right there on your phone, as well as the weather. So go ahead and do that.
Well, more now on what Bob was showing us about the rainfall in Texas. Central Texas is going to see more rain, threatening hundreds more homes and devastating flooding. Several days of rain have swollen rivers and lakes to near record levels, flooding swamped homes and businesses, and prompted many rescues earlier this week. National Weather Service says the Colorado River outside of Austin, Texas, still a major flood stage at this point, and the bodies of 2 people were found this week.
Some people who heeded warnings and evacuated were allowed back into their property yesterday to assess the damage, but were also warned they may have to pick up and leave again as more showers and storms are headed in that way.
Well, much of the country could see a milder winter this season. That's according to the seasonal forecast released today by NOAA. That report predicts warmer than normal temperatures in the Northeast, the Pacific Northwest, and the Northern Plains.
And the Great Lakes and parts of the Northern Plains and Northern Rockies will see likely drier than average conditions. No parts of the country are due for a colder than normal winter, but the South is expected to see above average precipitation. That's due to El Nino. And it looks like we're going to see a cool winter, Scott, here. We'll also see the potential for severe weather, and that's going to be a real possibility with the El Nino in place.
We'll be watching it. Thank you, Bob. Still to come, we'll tell you how a bizarre phenomenon could help scientists better predict how quickly the planet's ice is melting into the ocean.
I'm Linda Carson from Suncoast View. Coming up tomorrow morning live at 9, we try out a challenging new fitness routine called CrossFit that will shape you to your very core. We'll have a fashion show of wearable art and handmade jewelry by a mobile boutique that keeps popping up all over the place. And Gold Rush Barbecue is in the kitchen. That's coming up tomorrow morning live at 9.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Your last chance for 2018 Honda Accords on sale is now during our model year-end sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American Car of the Year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for Accords, all on sale this week at your local Honda dealer.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you, with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991. Now, in one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TrueStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Everyone's getting in on the eerie Halloween mood these days, even the ice in Antarctica. Using special instruments, scientists have discovered weird sounds at the bottom of the world. Take a listen. The American Geophysical Union releasing the recording. The Ross Ice Shelf, which is about the size of Texas and about 90% of it is underwater, that's where scientists buried 34 sensors. And it turns out those sounds come from powerful winds that are blowing through snow dunes. Scientists say the sounds could alert them to the shelf's condition under climate change, like a kind of warning sound for the planet. Let's get back to Jacqueline now in the newsroom. We'll look at some of the other stories we're working on tonight.
Scott, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is sharing how we'll hear how much the homeless outreach team program is
We're having
impacting
problems with Jacqueline's mic, but let's get back to Bob now for more on our evening forecast here on the Suncoast. Bob.
Scott, if you're heading out to the beaches for a walk, they're mostly fair, mild conditions, and there's not much of a chance for rainfall at all due to the dry air that's around. We'll see sunset just around, actually 6:59. That's not 7, it's 6:59. West winds will turn to the east at 5 to 10 miles an hour. This photo from last night's sunset from Fred Seeger, Casey Key, beautiful shot there. And Lakewood Ranch looking pretty good as well. Lots of fair weather cumulus clouds developing just after about 2 o'clock this afternoon. You can see them moving off. That's basically toward the west on an east wind. It looks like that one shower right there trying to develop, a shower trying to develop right there in the middle of your screen. There's not much to it, though. If we see anything, it'll be a sprinkle or two. Current conditions at the airport, it's 90, and the dew point temperature at 70. Makes it feel like 95 degrees out there. We have an east wind at 13, pretty healthy. As far as temperatures go, a little bit cooler over the Panhandle at 85. We'll start to get into some of those mid-80s to upper 80s at least over the weekend, so a couple degrees cooler than it has been. It's been a very hot week so far, and temperatures in the Gulf water, it's 84 degrees and 90s across most of the area. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. Thank you for joining us on ABC 7 News at 4. We'll see you again in about 30 minutes.